Yikes again. It's 5:45 a.m. Monday morning. And I'm getting ready to go out in the shop and do some more fabricating on the trunk of the Pontiac. For those of you that are new to the project, where the hell you been? But I've been trying to fabricate a trunk out of a 2002 Mercury Sable hood using the equivalent of stone knives and bear skins. But it isn't going too badly. I finally got it down to the point where I can try and install it in the car and add a few details so it actually looks like it's supposed to be there. I've been using the inner structure of the hood for pieces to fill in the gaps, because when you live in the middle of the Rust Belt, you do whatever you have to do to try to bring your old car back, or you send it away to become a refrigerator or a washing machine. So I've taken pieces out of what we were just looking at and cut them and twisted them and pushed them and pulled them until I restored what was once there, that was rusted in half, broken in half, for the most part gone. But I'm just now ready to start sealing it all up so it'll look like something. I gotta clean all of this up on the inside so I can put some kind of paint on it. Make a couple of more panels after I get the trunk pan in there, and then figure out what kind of details I might want to add to it so it looks like something. Alright, first thing I gotta do today is clean this up a little bit so I got a relatively straight line. And I got some old edge trim laying around that I'm going to put on the edges. So it should border up real nice and make well, it'll look like it has a nice seal even if it doesn't. Alright, I got everything straightened up the best I can get it, or at least wise as far as I'm going to get it. Now I got to take the welder and fill in them little cracks and grind them down. Alright, we got our little slices filled in. Next I got to grind them down so they look like it was never even messed with. Hopefully. Alright, it didn't come out exactly as clean as I had hoped, but there's a wonderful word we use in the home fabrication game. It's called close enough. Alright, the last thing I'm going to do here before I put my piece in is knock that rust down a little bit. And then put a little oil-based paint on there. So it'll take just a wee bit longer for the rust to finally eat it through. It's the best you can hope for around here, because sooner or later, the cancer's going to get you. Alright, we got the majority of the surface scale off. Now it's time to hit it with some paint. Here's a side note. Acrylic paints promote rust. Oil-based paints prevent it. Did I get it all? No, I did not. But the outside of it's sealed. And seeing as how this is the section that's going to sit next to the gas tank and be buried for the rest of its natural life, I did more good doing that than most people might think. So there we go. Everything's pretty much got a good once over. Sure, I might have got a run or two, but that's all going to be buried by the gas tank anyway. The important part is the less exposed raw steel in these conditions, the better. Especially since this is where the gas tank sits. And if you start getting rust right close to the gas tank, guess where it goes? Ding, 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 right to the gas tank. All right, next step is to fit the panel. And I put little strips of duct tape along where I'm going to have to drill all my holes so I can do my spot welding. It's a lot better than pulling a tape measure 40 times just to find out what you're looking for ain't there. Alright, couple issues on our initial fitting here. I put them little extensions on there last night outside of the car. Turns out they're not quite at the right angle, so I'm going to have to move them. And a little light, but it goes down around the wheel well here, so I got to figure out a way to sneak it up underneath there a little bit more, or cut a little bit more off the end where it goes underneath. But so far, so good for the 2002 Taurus fabricated hood. Oh, Sable. Alright, I'm relatively happy. Not overjoyed, but relatively happy. Let it slid up underneath that panel because I want it so it holds that up instead of pulls down on it, because as you can see, it's a little on the weak side itself. So I got all my holes drilled for my spot welds. Time to start welding again. Alright, there's our first round of spot welds. Only about 150 to go. Alright, I got my tape all set. All I got to do is start following lines and drilling holes. Alright, worked like a charm. Except for breaking one drill bit along the way. So peel all the tape off there and start zapping her down. Alright, all the welding's done. Except for one more piece to make over there to close that off. But for the most part, that's what we got. Home fabricated from a 2002 Mercury Sable hood. Inside and out. And that's what it looks like, all cleaned up. At least was as cleaned up as I'm going to get it. Now off to Kmart to buy some truck bed liner. You ever had one of those days where nothing goes quite like you wanted it to? Well, that's the kind of day I'm having. I make this spray-on truck bed liner. It's actually what I used to do the roof of this thing with. But of course I didn't have it. So I had to buy 5 cans of cheap-ass flat black, because I'm finishing this today one way or the other. Same routine as before. Jump in there and knock down whatever rust I can. Paint it up. Working on this thing's like trying to date a woman that ain't gonna give you none. All you can do is stare at her ass and think she ain't looking. I just want to be friends. Well, fine then. Quit making me buy dinner. I feel a case of the automotive blue balls coming on.